Celebrations. Sorry, we have an awful lot to do. This prophecy must not come true. Getting ready for the summer solstice.
If you're looking for some easy candy to make for your next rave, this flower cup is for you. This cup is pretty simple to make. It's one of the first kind of cups that I figured out how to make. So you're gonna start off with 30 beads. I'm using 3 beads of each color for each flower that I want to use. So this is the pattern that I'm going with. This is kind of like a rainbow vibe. I'm just gonna go around and make a candy single and tie that off at the end. Here it is all done. I'm just tying that off and using some super glue to secure it. Then I'm taking the string and feeding it through so it's in the middle of those 3 beads, and that's when I'm gonna put this white bead on and then feed it through that other color of the flower to secure it. Then I'm pulling it tight and I'm gonna repeat that all the way around so that there's a white bead on top all the way around. A great way to spread plur is trading candy, so if you haven't done this yet, go ahead and get yourself a pack of beads and just make a bunch of candy. You can do it with friends, listen to music and vibe out, and find someone at a rave that you're vibing with and go ahead and trade. Okay, this is me finishing up all of the white beads around the top. Okay, I actually lied, that wasn't the white bead part. I'm feeding on the colors that will go around next to the flower, and I'm putting that on and feeding it through. And that's just gonna feed right through the white bead. Now you can kind of start to see the flowers fully forming. So I have my string coming out of that middle bead and I'm feeding on the color of each flower onto the top all the way around. Here I am tying it off and super gluing it, and it's all done.
All of my candy cuffs. This is a rainbow multi-stitch cuff. This is my first ever multi-stitch made with the intention and correct way of being a multi-stitch cuff, and it's like little alphabet beads, but the thing is I tied it way too tight. I've been meaning to repair this for literally weeks, but this is my longest / potentially biggest cuff. It is a 4-layer X base. Coming in second running for biggest cuff because of the amount of beads used is my first UFO cuff. This is my only UFO cuff and it is really pretty. It's a little messed up in some areas, but it is like really pretty and I literally love it so much. This is a rotating mini X base where it's like a super tiny X base with a single X base layer, and then I attached little bumpers and a single to it. I followed a tutorial by the cool person tagged below. Again, another cuff followed from a tutorial. I'll tag the person below or in the comments along with the X-Base person. But I call it a flippy cuff because I'm struggling to do it with one hand, but you get the point. It flips. I love this cuff. It is the colors of the Bi flag, and it is an original design to my knowledge. It is a zigzag X-base or a spiral X-base, and I'm actually giving this to Edward if we ever meet up. So, Edward, come to America. Honorable mention, because I don't know if it counts as a cuff or not, is my Kandi glove. This is what it looks like on. This one is supposed to be where the thumb is, but I'm not going to fix it right now. This was a failed flower cuff design, and I just made like a multi-stitch cuff out of it. It's the trans flag, if you couldn't tell. My first ever cuff I sadly do not have right now. It was a bunch of singles tied together in like a 6-layer cuff, similar to like the way that this one is layered. I tried going for what this one looked like, but I thought you tied a bunch of singles together to get this, and it looked like a little watermelon. It was so pretty. And here is my second ever cuff. It is a rainbow multi-stitch cuff. My first ever X-Base, and this really just shows that you can take as much time and be whatever level you can, because I was making stuff like this before I actually learned how to make an X-Base. I didn't know how to make an X-Base until mid-August or mid-September of this year, and I have been making Kandi since December of 2021. Moving on is my button cuff. I basically just put some string in between buttons and called it a cuff. My flower cuff. It is my only flower cuff, but I am planning on making more soon because they're just so pretty. Another honorable mention is like this half glove thing I made for my Hawks cosplay. Finally, this is my Star X-Base cuff that I made based off the Demi Girl flag. And I can film tutorials. All you gotta do is ask.
A little bit ago, I had the opportunity to work with one of my great friends on some alternative ways of wearing Kandi because of their sensory needs, specifically low contact to avoid overstimulation, and I thought it'd be fun to share with the class. First off, they pretty much hate anything touching their body. So while technically traditional Kandi is out, that means that belt chains are in, which is great for me. However, they can wear traditional Kandi as long as they have something else underneath it, like a shirt to buffer the texture. However, isolated pressure did become a problem after a while, and this went for all appendages. Chokers were almost okay, but you can forget about perler necklaces because they only touch the back of your neck. Now, if you can imagine that there are 2 ears here, then Kandi animal ears are a great option because they don't touch you at all. And I didn't ask about beaded clothes or harnesses, but I'd assume the same rules apply, if not just a no. But moving on to my favorite option, beaded shoelaces. No matter how simple or extreme you go, I've always loved the results, and they're completely no contact. The same goes for keychains. You can rep the look without even having to touch it. My friend has one of my Pride Stars on their wallet, and they've informed me that it doubles as a great fidget toy. We were on pretty short notice, so I'm glad we were able to find so many options in such a short amount of time.
A few people want a tutorial for the star cuff, so I'm going to give it to you. First thing you're going to want to do is make an X base for the base, and I've already done that. Now it's time for these parts. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your string through one of these top 2 beads, and once you do that, you're going to add 7 beads onto your string and then loop them through these 2 right here. Once you do that, you're just going to do that all the way around. So you're just going to add 7, go through these 2, add 7, go through these 2 until you get to the end. Once you have the top part done, it should look like this, and you're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. Alright, so once you have those sides, it should look something like this. Now it's time to do this part right here. So first you're going to take your string and you're going to put it through this top bead right here. Then you're going to put the sides together like this and put 3 beads on the string. It should look something like this, and now when you tie it, you're going to put one side of the string through one of these, or through this bead, and you're just going to tie it off. It should look something like this, and you're going to do that on every side. Alright, now that you have all these parts, it's time for the last part, which is this part right here, which can get kind of confusing, so I'm going to show you how to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your string through one of the middle beads right here. And then once you do that, you're going to put 4 beads on your string. Once you have those 4 beads, you're going to loop it through the middle bead right here through this X. Once you do that, you're going to put 4 more beads and you're going to put it through the next middle bead right there. Once it looks like that, you're just going to do that throughout the whole thing by putting 4, putting through the middle one, add another 4, putting through there, and through the whole thing. Once you do the outside, then you're done. There's your star cuff. I will say, I think I forgot to say this, you have to make sure that you have 10 X's on the inside. Like, it can't be any more, any less, as of what I know. So it has to be 10 X's on the inside. But other than that, there's your star cuff.
I made a ball pit cuff.